want to talk with you about ADHD and why it's not a disease when you're an innovator. Being an entrepreneur is different than a traditional path. It requires things that are caused by ADHD. ADHD is a way how to approach life and how to approach things. And ADHD, in the case of a criminal, can be seen as a disease. When you have ADHD, you have several pathways you can approach your life. And one way is entrepreneurship, another way is employment, and the third way is criminal lifestyle. These are mostly It's mostly the way when you have ADHD and you're unemployed. And being unemployed is the worst way, probably, with the criminal lifestyle. Being a criminal is not good enough, not good when you consider that you can the problem with ADHD and criminals is that they have low IQs and I have a high IQ and you can change your IQ. When you have the low IQ and ADHD, you can't just change your life. The only thing you can do is to become employed, and this is the traditional, the normal way of how you approach life. Also, when you're unemployed, you can go and get a job, and there are ways how to do this, and there are things that you can do. But today, I want to talk with you about entrepreneurs and innovators. And when you have ADHD and you're an entrepreneur innovator, the ADHD is no longer a disease because you have some things that are good for entrepreneurship, such as divergent thinking and or nonlinear thinking. And when you have nonlinear thinking, you can find innovations or you can have ideas and brainstorm creative to what you can do with your life, what you can do with your company. And there are things when you have ADHD, you are more prone to rebellion, for example. And as a child, I called my Tagesstätte, what means my daycare as a child. I called it a child prison. And when I was a child, I was very rebellious against my teachers and everyone. And it was usual for me. I was kind of an antisocial kid, but I was also very rebellious, and it continued throughout my life. And I'm at psychiatry, and I live at home. I live in a flat with schizophrenics, and I'm quite rebellious against cleaning, for example, or cleaning my my dishes, washing of dishes, and stuff like that. I'm quite a rebel, and this non-conformity is quite a part of being an ADHD entrepreneur. You have to live outside the social norm. Some say society needs conformity, but humanity needs rebels or non-conformity. And when you have ADHD, you are prone to non-conformity. And there are some outliers like me who have ADHD and change the world. And other than that, there are many people who fail and who become criminals. And I don't know whether ADHD is good for society as a whole. I haven't calculated it, but in theory, there are so many criminals that have ADHD, and it's quite expensive that they cost so much. Why it would be probably good when if we could cure ADHD. I mean, genetically, into the consideration, we maybe have to make one day. There are also a way how we can solve it is with stem cells. And I had times when I thought I want to cure my ADHD, but now I don't see it anymore as a disorder. I see it as an advantage for entrepreneurship. And I have problems with reading, and the non-conformity or the rebellion that I have inside me is quite an advantage for humanity and for myself. Why it's a good thing to have ADHD when you're an innovator. You have to use your ADHD as an advantage. Even when you're a low IQ, you can still run a small company, and you don't have to become a criminal. Not necessary. I mean, it's a cool thing to be a criminal, but when you go to prison, it's not that cool anymore. Why it's not very smart to be a criminal, or when you have ADHD. Even when you have ADHD, it's not very smart because you have to go to prison for many years. When you break the rule, you need somebody. You need a good lawyer, like in Breaking Bad or something like that. They had a lawyer, and